We are back. Oh, excuse me. Mm. We are back for another episode of The Inside Out. My guest today is Marsha Bartenetti, and it was such a good time with her to have a conversation, to learn about her story, and to see who is behind the persona. she she's been performing for such a long time, and first it was with her husband in the 60s and 70s in San Francisco. She also played at the Troubadour here in LA, and she won this amazing contest before there was America's Got Talent and everything, which was the best vocalist from the American Songwriters Association International. And that win got her, it opened so many doors for her. Like, I hope that my win for the Hollywood Bowl will do. So before we get into Marsha, into her story, I just wanted to fill you in on what's going on with the contest to perform at the Hollywood Bowl. I am currently in second place. We're in the third round, so voting continues, and yeah, it's really pretty amazing. It's really very amazing. And oh, I've got somebody here. Hi. And I just wanted to thank everybody who has been supporting me in this contest. To perform at the Hollywood Bowl is a dream. Ever since Diana Ross handed me the mic. Yeah, she did. I was at one of her shows, and there's a moment in her shows where she says, I was front and center. She said, "Who's gonna sing with me?" And she looked at me, our eyes locked, and since then, that's what I have been dreaming of. So I'll share more about that in later posts. Right now, it's time for Marsha Bartenetti. I hope you enjoy the show, and feel free. I'm here to answer any questions and that might come up while you're watching. And enjoy. Here we go.
Well, alright, okay, you win, I'm in love with you. Well, alright, okay, you win, baby, what can I do? I'll do anything you say, it's just gotta be that way. Well, alright, okay, you win, I'm in love with you. Well, alright, okay, you win, baby, what can I do? Anything you say I'll do, as long as it's me and you. All that I'm asking, all I want from you, just love me like I love you, and it won't be hard to do. Alright, okay, you win, I'm in love with you. Well, alright.
Hi, welcome to The Inside Out. Today's guest is Marsha Bartenetti. And as I was saying earlier, she has been in the industry for a really long time. In the 60s and 70s, she was already performing a lot with her husband. She's performed at the Troubadour. In 1980, she won the American Songwriters Association International contest for Best Vocalist. If you've ever called a business and got a recording that said to hold on or to choose certain options, you probably heard Marsha's voice because she was all over the place. Oh, and it was so wonderful to meet her, to chat, and to learn more about her story. Here's a little bit more about her. First of all, welcome to the Inside Out.
Thank you, Claude. So nice to be here.
How do you get to that place where you are able to go there, give it to people without getting lost in your own story, yet still be vulnerable and truthful in your delivery?
Well, at the end of the day, it's an invitation to share with an audience and to be empathetic about life things that go on with us. Having been through so many things in my life, having been through a lot of inner work, I will start with a lyric, always. Like I said before, I will cross any genre for a lyric. If the lyric inspires me and I resonate with it, then I'll work on it. If it's jazz, if it's country, if it's pop, if it's, So I start with a lyric and I say, take each line. There's no lightening up on a line or forgetting a word or whatever. It's all very important what's written. I take each line and then I go into a place where I've lived this. It's like method acting. It's method intuitive is what happens. And you find an experience in your life where you can actually resonate with, good morning heartache for one. You old gloomy sight. You wake up in the morning again and you still feel as shitty as you did the night before. Because you've been through the heartaches for so long. It's like, here we go again. What's new, So I take each line and I bring in a true experience of mine to mind when I'm singing it. I know exactly who I'm singing it about and for and what, why, for every line. So when I'm out there, I am just concentrating on telling the truth. My last show, I sang Send in the Clowns. For Stephen Sondheim, we did a tribute song to him. And that song makes me cry.
Yes.
Every time I sing it. Even on stage this last time, I had to go, turn around, look back at the drums. Okay. How those drums doing? Because it's so like timing in life and the heartbreak, it was poignant.
Yes, it is.
He was such a genius with his music and lyrics.
Yeah.
So songs like that, they're always a work in progress. So that I can actually sing the note through the vibration of the feeling that I have and the emotion I have with the song.
Right.
Because again, it's not for me to take up that space. It's for me to give to my audience. They are allowed to sit and cry in their seat.
Right.
I'm not allowed to cry in my seat or on the stage. That's not my job. But it is my job to bring the full truth to it.
Or is there actually to separate so that you don't break down and cry?
I start out in rehearsal crying. That's a good sign. And I may be working on a song, with a mirror.
Got you.
And I will cry and sing through the cry and sing through the cry and allow myself to cry through until the tears are not as raw, but I can still access that place. I encourage it. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's important not to hold that back, to say, why am I crying? Or if a song will come up, I'll go, why is that making me cry? Hold on a second. What's this bringing up for me? That's like, oh yeah, oh man, that hurts. Okay, then sing it again, and it still brings up. Sometimes it's nostalgia,
right?
Time that was an easier time or whatever. But whatever it is, like a Christmas song, my grown-up Christmas list makes me cry. There's some songs that just tear me up,
Yeah.
So I have to rehearse them over and over and over so that cry settles down. I'm acknowledging it. I'm not pushing it away.
Right.
Bringing it in and bringing it fully into the song so that I'm there.
Cool.
I think it's a real mistake to act a story. It shows when you're acting a story. Just tell the truth.
Yeah.
The rest will follow. Your voice will follow your intention. And your intention has to be clear.
Right. Right. It's
Yeah.
like your intention when you moved to LA. That was very clear.
It was very clear. And then
And
came down here and oh shit.
sorry?
I came down here and went, oh shit. No, I didn't know anybody. I knew like 2 people.
Wow. What made you, like, aside from your intention to come here and to work and and all of that, what made you stay? We move to places because of one thing, and sometimes we stay because of something different. Was there something aside from work that made you stay?
I came down here in March in 97. In May, my mother passed away. June, my father passed away.
Oh, wow.
So within those 30 days. And I thought, I'm sitting in my apartment. I'm going, what is this? I follow guides. So I was guided to come.
Right.
Work was going to be, I'll have more opportunity and all that stuff, fine. But when my parents died, I sat in my apartment and I didn't know what I was going to do. I just didn't say, now what? I sing for what? I sing for my father. He's gone. Who cares? What do I have anyway? Why do I even want to continue with this? It doesn't matter. And I was really thinking about when my father died, he had hospice. And I'd never heard of hospice till that. And I was very interested in the whole dying process. So I got there and they said, your dad's waiting for you. And within a minute he passed. And I felt aura of his spirit in the room for quite a while right after. We just sat in the space. And when I got back to LA, they live in the Bay Area. Got back to LA, and this whole thing about death was really making me wonder, what is all this about?
Yeah.
And I don't know, sharing this experience is kind of interesting. Years prior, I had an episode where I thought I had the flu or something. I just moved to San Francisco at the time, didn't know anybody, and I had just broken up with my boyfriend. And next thing I knew, we'd just broken up, and I was in my apartment by myself. And I woke up, and I was looking down at my body on the floor. And I thought, wow, she's really sick. It was me.
Yeah.
But I was myself. I wasn't
Right.
afraid. I wasn't freaked out, like, oh my God, I'm out of my body. I was just like, wow. We have our self-talk.
Right.
Self-talk, and I was fine. I don't even remember anything after that. Somehow my boyfriend, I don't know how I called or I blacked out, got me to a hospital. And I had almost died. I didn't share that experience for a long time, but I started thinking about it when my parents died.
Right.
And one morning I got the paper, and Cedars-Sinai was looking for volunteers for hospice. So I thought, okay. I volunteered. I went to people's homes. I felt like I was a midwife to the spirit, guiding people as much as I could over, sharing a story with them, saying, I don't know what your religious beliefs are or how you feel about some of these things, but I can share an experience with you if you'd like. And this is what happened. And what I'm saying to them is, you are fine. Your body is no longer working for you. But you'll be fine. You're going to be the same. That's what I experienced.
Right.
Give some comfort. So then I was doing that for a while after my parents. I got all involved in hospice. And it just brought more room into my awareness of what to bring to certain things with my music. And it always comes back to the creativity in my life.
Right.
So it's all these different things. So here in LA, it was just so ironic, huge city, I find an apartment in Bel Air. I'm like,
Right.
and I find more of myself here. So things started opening up. So yes, I was surprised by some things. But it's always on the same path.
Summer hadn't held its breath too long. The winter looked the same, as if it never had gone. And through an open window where no curtain hung, I saw you. I saw you coming back to me. One begins to read between the pages of a look, shape of sleepy music, and suddenly you're hooked. Through the rain upon the trees, the kisses on the run, I saw you. I saw you coming back to me. You came to stay, live my way, scatter my love like leaves in the wind. You always say you won't go away, but I know what it always has been. It always has been. Strolling the hills, overlooking the shore, I realized I've been there before. The shadow in the mist could have been anyone. Oh, I saw you. I saw you coming back to me. Back to me.
What a beautiful and soothing voice. Yes, LA is an interesting place, right? You know, it has this reputation of being very superficial. And like Marsha, I have found that I have found more of myself in this city, in this place where all that glitters is not gold. Let's hear a little bit more from Marsha.
I hadn't sung for a long time when I first moved to LA.
Yes, I recall reading that you ended up reaching out to a friend on via Facebook.
Right.
And that's how you ended up singing again.
I know.
And so you had stopped because
years ago, I won Best Vocal for, it was an International Songwriters Association, and came down here and I met some people at Jobette Music, was one of the judges, and they called me down to LA to record. I had just broken up with my husband, so I was very naive, and my ex-husband and I were in music together for 11 years. Mm-hmm. So, I'm 21. Just for background, I'm in a band in high school. I meet my husband in junior college. We get a band together after my high school band. We got together with my ex-husband, and we wrote music, and we played, and we recorded, and did it all, for 11 years. Fast forward, and the guy in the band in my high school band is the guy I connected with years later in Facebook. So Donnie and I go way back to high school.
Wow.
But anyway, so I win this award. I start recording with these marvelous writers at Motown. And had a very traumatic experience along the way. A Me Too experience that I was physically okay, but emotionally absolutely crushed. And took my voice and my integrity and left and went back to Northern California and didn't sing for years. I just shut it. It was too traumatic for me. I was not strong enough to handle. I would have handled it very differently today.
Right.
But then it's like, I thought it was all about the music. I was just blown out of my mind.
Right.
So I didn't sing. And for many years, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? All I've ever done is sing. I've never had a job. I've always had a microphone in my hand. So someone said, you should do voiceovers. I said, what's that? Didn't really even know what voiceovers were.
Right.
He said, well, that's the talking and the ads and da-da-da. So I said, oh, I can do that. Again, I do a demo tape. I think this will be a piece of cake. He goes, in a year, you'll probably get some work. I go, ha ha, he doesn't know me. A year later, Marsha, Miss Confident. A year later,
wow,
I started working in voiceover, and I did very well in voiceover and on-camera commercials and stuff like that. That's what I did instead of singing up in San Francisco.
Gotcha.
Until I finally started taking acting lessons and singing lessons from this incredible coach in San Francisco, Mark Monroe. I ended up teaching for him. But he had this way of working with artists. It was like an invisible string. He pulled me back. He had me sitting on the floor like I had a little tutu on, my little Mary Jane's, singing my songs. And this little tiny voice came out of me like I'd never heard before.
Wow.
This child voice, so vulnerable, so scared, so fragile.
Wow.
It was like, so fragile. And I went, oh my God. So I had to start from scratch, from way back when, to bring the voice back. And I got the voice back. I put on a show. I brought my agents. I go, what the hell? I didn't know you could sing. Da, 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 da. So that was in 94 that I did those shows. Then moved to LA in 97. Then I hooked up with Donnie, who was in my band, and he'd been producing ever since for years.
Right.
And I said, look, I want to start singing in LA, but nobody knows I can sing, and I need to have some recording of something. He goes, Marsha, I'm going to be in Nashville the next, 6 weeks or whatever it was. Come on down. In fact, he said, I don't care. You can sing the phone book for all I care. Just come down. He goes, well, let's just make a CD. I'm thinking, well, next time. That's really nice. Next time we'll do it, And I go, okay. I left the phone and I went, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done?
Yeah.
So in the 6 weeks or whatever it was, after a very short time, we recorded. I went to Nashville. We recorded a full album. Wait a minute, I brought it here to show. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, look at you.
Record. It's time.
The title of the record, did I show you this? It's called I Believe in Love. And the title was taken from this song. What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it is wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will you lend on an old golden rule? As sure as I believe there's a heaven above, Alfie, I know there's something much more, something even non-believers can believe in. I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist, Alfie, until you find the love you've missed. You're nothing, Alfie. When you walk, let your heart lead the way, and you'll find love any day. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Music is my heart.
Yes.
What can I say? It's
Yeah.
been, my lover. It's been my enemy. I fight with it sometimes. I don't want to do it anymore. It hurts too much. And I love it. I can't wait to do it. I've been a live performing person since I'm 16 years old.
Right.
I love to perform. I mean, when I'm with an audience, I'm like home, just like I said with the studio.
Yeah.
So, when we have that inside of us, it doesn't matter when or how, you just keep doing the work and keep doing it. It's all about.
Part of the work is, the vocal work and on the outside, as you mentioned earlier, another part of the work is on the inside.
A lot of it's on the inside.
Yeah, most of it. Is on the
really
inside.
Is mostly on the inside, because once you know things and once you've integrated some of these things, so that you're not pushing them away and judging them as parts of yourself, but actually allowing them to be a bigger part of who you are. You're not afraid.
Yeah.
It can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah.
You don't judge yourself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You say, oh, and then you say, come on. It's like that young part of you that's the creative child.
Yes.
Come on, let's go. Let's go play. Yeah. I listen to that part of me. If she doesn't want to sing, we don't sing.
That reminds me of when you do Alfie. Oh my gosh, I love when you do that song.
I love that song so much. That comes from a very true place.
Well, I can tell. You have such a beautiful delivery and truthful delivery of that song.
Thank you.
You know, it's
We did that.
your story.
I did that with Stefan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's magical also.
The orchestration on the album, I Believe in Love, on that song is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's Stefan. Yeah. He did the
Wow.
arrangement for that too. But we click creatively all the time. He's like, I'll say something, and he'll go, "Oh, I was just thinking the same thing, and try this." And like the horn, the French horn in Alfie, we want it to be haunting in the beginning and haunting at the end. And we just get it.
Yeah.
Some people you work with who just get each other.
Yeah. And that is magical. That is magical when that happens.
Yeah.
There's a word that keeps popping up into my mind as I listen to you, which is persistence.
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's persistence because it is what it is. I mean, it's not like it's just you do what you do. That's who I am. I know that about me.
Yeah.
So there's no other question about the path.
Right.
The path is there. I just keep taking steps. And, you know, like a lot of people I know who are musicians are also other artists. I write, I do drawing, you know. So the it's just being a creative.
Yeah.
Music is part of it. It's a huge part of it for me. And the voice. I mean, I do a lot of voiceover still every day. So for me, it's always been about my voice in a communication mode. That's what I do. I use my voice. Yeah. And the funny thing was, when I first came to LA after my parents died, and I was so vulnerable, I went in for an audition. And at this time I was at William Morris. And it was for Safeway. I thought, okay. I got the job. I was the voice for Safeway for all their stores across the country, all the TV, all the radio. The guy said to me, your life is going to change. I didn't know what he was talking about. I was like struggling financially at the time. It was. And I think it was because my voice was so vulnerable.
Oh.
At the time of the audition, I wasn't trying to be the voiceover.
Right.
You know, giving our best to do whatever. I got it because I was just there.
Yeah.
It was a huge windfall financially, you know, in my career, for a lot of different, you know, opportunities, voice-wise. Yeah. So I've been doing voice work for, you know, since 1980.
When we let our guard down, when we're willing to be vulnerable, sometimes, a lot of times, magic happens. I love that story. Here's Marsha again.
She's another one. My daughter, she's an amazing singer.
I read about your business with her, just in case.
Yes.
Oh my God! When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, she's even more interesting to me now."
That was a huge part of our. I forgot to talk about. We had never. Okay, so just in case, that's another very interesting story. I'm living in Woodside, California, up north. Yeah. My neighbor's Dr. Carl Gerasi, and Gerasi invented the birth control pill.
Gotcha.
So we're all having wine and talking, and so we're talking about birth control, and Carl's like, well, Marsha, you know, really the best means of contraception is the condom. He said, you're a creative person. The only thing bad about it is its image. You should do something about it. Ha, 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 we're laughing. So I go home, and I have this flash. Yeah. And I'm thinking Tiffany heart, kind of a little off-center heart, and a condom inside the case. I'll go, so that women can carry a condom in a case privately. This is before AIDS. This is before 1982.
Right.
And I did the, you know, note to self and sent it to my lawyer, and everybody laughed. No one's going to carry a condom. Women aren't going to carry condoms, blah, blah, blah. Then AIDS came, and I kept telling my friends I had this idea. I told everybody about it I could think of. Fast forward, when Rachel was grown, she'd been hearing about this for years. She goes, Mom, this is when I was making all that money at Safeway too. So I had a lot of extra. And she said, it's time. Let's do it. But we wanted it to be elegant. I'll show you someday the PR stuff we have. We got in magazines. We went on TV, went on Oprah. Not for the.
Yes, I saw.
But from the very beginning, we had issues. We ordered the compacts from China. We had our own little condoms with it just in case. They were beautiful. Everything down to the packaging was great. They come to the United States. We had to order 10,000 of each color for a minimum order. So we had like 50, 60,000 pieces. FDA stopped our shipment and said they tested the condoms and the condoms weren't good. They wouldn't pass.
Oh my God.
So we had those included in all of our compacts.
Oh no.
I called the FDA, became best friends, and said, you don't understand. We're really just not about the condoms. It's the compacts. Is it okay if we take out the condoms that are no good and save the compact? So finally they said, all right, but we have to count every condom. I'm like, okay, now my life's about condoms.
How did we go from microphones to condoms?
Maybe that's what you were thinking about when you came down to do this, and what happened? You did this. I didn't think about that. That part was a little side road. You're right. So, but it was such a great idea, and we really we did this to make women think about what they were doing, that in a matter of seconds you can make the wrong choice and have AIDS.
Right.
Or, an STD that you now have for the rest of your life. It was just a mindful 2-second, if you're with somebody, you're going to sleep with them that night, and he says, you should go, you say to him, do you have a condom? He goes, no, I don't. You go, well, I do. Just a minute.
Right.
Well, here's a gold one. Let's see.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Here's one of them.
Wow.
So then you open it up, and you don't even know there's then it's just a compact. And then inside, you lift this up. Well, I have coins in here now, but inside, the condoms in there. So you're at lunch, and everything's fine. It was before its time.
I love it.
We won a huge award in New York with all these cosmetic companies because they said we had to create a category for this next item.
Wow.
Never seen anything like it. And we won the most original beauty packaging.
Wow.
I should be rich.
I know. What happened? Women don't carry compacts anymore, or what?
I should be rich. But I got to the point where the recession happened. The government was a little too conservative. They just didn't, AIDS wasn't happening over here. It was all over there.
Right.
You know what? If I can't get people to care about themselves, I can't care more than people care about themselves. I can't. They wouldn't have us on Shark Tank.
Really?
Try to get on Shark Tank because it's a condom. Oh, you can't. I used to say to people at meetings, I want you to say condom 5 times in a row and see if you're still here.
Having lived in Europe, I lived in Europe for 17 years. Mm-hmm. And the Puritan mindset of the United States.
Tell me.
Really was apparent to me when I came back.
I'll bet. Of course.
It's so interesting what in the United States is not okay and what is okay.
Right.
There are certain things that are okay, and I'm thinking, really?
Well, deniability is one thing.
Deniability, what is that?
Well, for instance, like we did the, Maria Shriver has a women's conference every year. So we went to the women's conference and we set up a booth. And I had people, if I had heard one more person say, well, yes, I have a 16-year-old, but she's so busy with her studies. She's not, even having. I'm like, maybe you feel better about it, but you know what I'm saying? So I got so annoyed with the deniability. Oh no, they're not having sex. I go, guess what?
Yeah.
throw your daughters under the bus.
Right.
Help them to be, to be more confident, so that they have a choice, that they can say, I take care of myself first. If you don't, I'm not interested. It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
And it still is too dangerous.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting. And
yeah.
But to get back to first of all, I just loved that side story. I was like, okay, she's a cool gal. But your desire behind this, which is to empower women to make a choice for themselves.
Correct.
Rather than to depend on somebody else's level of health or whatever, to depend on somebody else to choose your health, because that's what you're doing.
Well, again, thank you, because that's exactly where we were coming from.
Yeah.
Know yourself. Be kind to self, know self. Then you can do other things. We're fearless when it comes to that. I'm fearless when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, here we go. My daughter's the same way. Let's go. And she, we did it.
Right. And kudos to you. And I can only wish that one day this country gets to a place where they can talk about these types of subjects without going like this and thinking it's yes. Yes.
Just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips away, and all your money won't another minute buy. All we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. All we are
almost to the end of the show. I have another little tidbit with Marsha to add on afterwards, but I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you, all of you who are watching afterwards, after the broadcast. Marsha is really what I got out of this conversation with Marsha was just, when you've connected to your passion, just keep going. Keep going, because as long as we are true to our inherent gift or gifts, they just keep feeding us. And that sense of belonging that we all strive for, it just exists. So thanks again for tuning in. Stay on, because there's a little bit more with Marsha, and I'll be posting a bit more about the contest. Yes, if you're not aware, I am currently in a contest to perform at the Hollywood Bowl, and I'll post about it later in other posts. Basically, it's on a popular vote basis, and whoever gets the most votes gets to open for Odyssey's annual concert at the Hollywood Bowl, which is a concert that benefits the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So I'm crossing my fingers. Again, thank you for tuning in to The Inside Out. Here's a little bit more on Marsha. And have a great Sunday. One common thread that I notice in your journey as an artist, your journey as a mother, as a human being, as a spiritual being in this human experience, is this desire to know yourself, to uncover what's on the inside, right, in order to be able to share it with the world and to make your mark on this world. And that just really touches me. And I just wonder, like, is there anything else in your journey that for you is something that has been the common thread that has helped you to continue and to keep on your path and to keep doing what you're doing?
There's so many things. So basically, it is to remember who you are. Remember who you already know, who you are already, that we've forgotten, with all this other stuff that comes in front of what we already know. So it's coming back to self. Coming back to self is really what it is. Instead of it's like finding self, but it's returning to self. Yes. And in a big way, and in a way that's truthful, and then you're available to share what you have. It's out there for you. And I do it through my voice, through words, it's all the same. It's quite interesting. Yeah, there's more to come. Most definitely more to come. I can't help it.
Well,
I surrender.
Yes.
Surrender. Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Moment. Wow. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for being willing to share your story, to share your story so that others can maybe be motivated to follow their dream.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Why not? What else? What's the option? Why say, regret what you don't do, not what you do. Yeah. I mean, when I think back on it, I'd forgotten about certain things. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I did that, and then did this, and da. Who could be bored?
I don't know.
There's so much going on. Just go ahead, go for it. I say go for it. Go for it beautifully. Because people are excited when you bring stuff to the fore.
Yes,
I love it.
they are.
You know, and it feels good to share.
Dust
So
in the
thank you.
wind.